Hey yo, you watching HISTORIA with DISRUPTIVE, and today I'm going to show you a man's legacy in a segment I call Bosses from History. And in this segment we're going to be talking about none other than Leonardo Da Vinci. We're going to take it back. In a small isolated town in Tuscany, a young boss discovers the world and is fascinated by the lives and its mysteries. Growing up, he lived with his father while his mom went off to go marry some other dude with her same class. He broke, and the dad just took it upon himself to raise Leonardo. In 1460, a teenage Leonardo moves to Florence with his dad. 6 years later, determined by his code and his dad's well-placed friend, he attempts to go for the guilds. He wants to be part of something. He wanted to get into the guild of artists and doctors. So he signs up for an apprenticeship with artist Andrea Di Cion, aka Verrocchio. This provided the foundation for his genius experiments. In 1472, now 20 years old, he joins the guild as a painter. But for some reason, he falls back, just stays under Verrocchio's wing. Maybe he wasn't ready to go out there and do his own commissions, but I guess he was just trying to play it safe. He stays with Verrocchio for a while. They decide to work on a project. Verrocchio and Leonardo collaborate to make the baptism of Christ. When Verrocchio saw Leonardo's painting of the young girl holding Jesus' robe, he was so astonished that he put down his brush and never painted again. He was just like, damn. In 1476, the way the justice system worked, it all revolved around this one little box. Snitch box, if you will. And anybody, personal or political, can drop in a note accusing somebody of anything, and that person is put in front of everybody, the whole town, and they have to prove their innocence. And if they're found guilty, they're either put in jail or they get their ass hung. Well, Leonardo fell victim to this snitch box. Somebody accused Leonardo and 3 other kids of sodomy with a 17-year-old male prostitute. Basically saying Leonardo was trying to do some gay shit with a man whore. And it was bullshit. No witnesses came forward. There was no evidence. Nothing. It was just some haters jealous of what Leonardo was doing. So it's now 1478, and Leonardo, falling out of control, Da Vinci, is now qualified as a master in the guild of St. Luke. So he ventures to Milan, which was like right at the border of the French Empire. So he wants to do more than just painting. So he goes straight up to the Duke of Milan. He tells him, he's like, hey man, I got these master plans of weapons of war. And only in his last line does he mention that he also paints, by the way. The Duke needs a painting of his mistress. So Leonardo paints the lady with an ermine. After this painting, the Duke decides he wants a symbol of establishment. So he tells Leonardo, man, I want a big old bronze horse. So Leonardo gets all excited and goes full-fledged. He dedicates 12 years of his life to the process of making this bronze horse. He decides to commission Leonardo another project, which was the famous Last Supper. The French Empire comes in and attacks the city of Milan. When the French troop used Leonardo Da Vinci's horse that he dedicated 12 years of his life as target practice, and they destroy the whole shit. And Leonardo has to leave. He has to get out of there, leaving behind his statue, which was ruined anyways, and his masterpiece, The Last Supper. So he goes back to his old hometown, back to Florence, where he finds that everything has changed, and to find some competition by the name of Michelangelo. They become big rivals, and the whole city of Florence gets to know it. He does a couple of projects back in Florence. Still having a drive for engineering, he finds interest in the bastard son of the Pope, Borgia, which was known as a big warlord. Da Vinci is appointed chief general engineer. He starts saying how big of a psychopath Borgia is. He's like, I'm out of here. You're crazy. I'm not working for you. He decides to leave and go back to his hometown once again. In 1503, now 53 years old, decides to work on some projects of his own, He starts studying dead bodies. He tried to solve the mystery of flight. He never really gets to solve this mystery. And he decides to work on one of his most famous paintings, which was the Mona Lisa, which he carried around, adding little somethings to the painting everywhere he went, till the day he died. In 1517, towards the end of his life, King Francis I of France invites Leonardo and his 2 apprentices to come live with him, Gives him a title of court genius, but it was just a title basically. Leonardo didn't do anything. He just respected Leonardo, and he was a big collector of his work. And there he stayed and enjoyed a well-deserved retirement. In 1519, Leonardo da Vinci passed into history.